that time of the week. It's time for our top 10 countdown. And this week, it's gone with a little bit of a fun one. Because it's something that I think is important. For as long as we've been sentient, the human race has erected monuments, paintings, statues, relics in various occasions. There are thousands of statues and things are scattered around the world. Places where people go and they visit them on a daily basis. And some of these are extremely weird. Like, why do they exist at all? Here is my top 10 list of the weirdest monuments in the world. Right, at number 10 is a thing called the booming prairie chicken in Minnesota in USA. It's a massive prairie chicken in Rothsay, Minnesota. And on the plaque it says, prairie chickens moved ahead of the settlers to inhabit the prairies, I'm going to read the exact thing, of Minnesota. A large concentration of the protected bird can still be seen on the prairie meadows of the Rothsay area. And in the early spring, the male prairie chicken performs his mating ritual called booming. The statue is of a booming prairie chicken. And apparently it weighs 4 tons, is 4 meters high by 6 meters. It's not like a small thing. And it's fully in color. Like it's a full color 6 meter by 4 meter, 4 ton statue. That's like 4 cars worth of booming prairie chicken. At number 9, it's an odd monument to begin with, and then you hear where it's based. It's the Rocky Balboa monument based in Serbia. Now, Rocky Balboa, obviously, the part played by Sylvester Stallone in the Rocky movies, and a little town in Serbia called Ziteste decided that they were going to define their town by a large statue of Rocky Balboa, the movie character. Because apparently before they erected the statue, they were only known for being like flooded and smothered by landslides. So they came up with this as a kind of testament to the fighting character of the people of Ziteste in Serbia. I bet you still no one goes to that town. I'm prepared to put money on it. At number 8 is the giant traffic light in Canary Wharf in London, in England. I've actually got a photo of myself at this thing. It's just essentially in the middle of an intersection in Canary Wharf, and it looks like it actually should maybe perhaps be there, but instead it's hundreds, like I'd say, a couple hundred flashing lights, and it just confuses the hell out of people. It says if you're passing through the Heron Keys roundabout located in Canary Wharf, London, the monumental traffic light tree is sure to catch your attention. The lights flash in random sequences, and if you're not prepared, you're heading for trouble. Because basically, it looks like a real robot. It looks like a real thing. Apparently, it was erected as a tribute to the never-ending rhythm of the domestic, financial, and commercial activities in the area. But folk just basically think it's confusing. At number 10 is an enormous flower called the Floralis generica in Argentina. You may have seen pictures of this actually broadcast during the World Cup because it's been lit up in the various colors of the teams that are playing. But it's been designed and paid for and given to the people of Buenos Aires by an Argentine architect called Eduardo Catalano. And it's a huge flower that's 34 meters wide, that in the morning it opens right up and it slowly over the course of the day closes to being 58 meters tall. It stands in a pool of water just a couple meters away from the Natural Museum of Fine Arts. And it basically opens and closes every single day. It's 18 tons of steel. It's a bizarre thing. It's a strange feature, mainly because the steel is actually coated in reflective aluminium, and you can see the city reflected in this thing. It's essentially a hugely expensive mirror ball, because it's lit up with these kind of gaudy lights and it. Pretty dazzlingly kitsch, I suppose. At number 6 is a thing called the Fallen Corn in USA. Now, let me tell you at this point that USA could have won all top 10. There are dozens of bizarre statues and things in the USA. But number 6, the Fallen Corn, has to be one of the strangest of them. It's 109 cobs of concrete corn burrowed into a field in Columbus, Ohio. Now, the corn is like 2-3 meters tall, these things, and it's a whole field, just randomly full of them. Apparently, they're there to honor Sam France, the inventor of a corn hybrid that helped grow a hardier, tastier corn. That sounds like something that probably shouldn't have been memorized, if you ask me. Certainly not in an entire field of giant concrete corn. And number 5 is actually probably one of the most famous ones in the world, and that's the Manneken Pis statue in Brussels in Belgium. It's basically only Belgium could build a pair of statues of children urinating and proudly acknowledge that not only is that weird, but that they were going to make it weirder. Because the mannequin piss statue is just one of a pair. People don't often know that. Mannequin piss is the little boy peeing, and then there's Janneke piss, which is a little girl peeing. And the people of Belgium love these things. They understand that it's bizarre, and throughout the course of the year, they dress them up in various things. So over Christmas, these two little statues will be dressed like Santa Claus, and over Easter they'll be dressed like rabbits, and who knows? But I'm not exactly sure why small children taken a wee should be considered something that's worthy of a tourist's time. But there you are, number 5. All right, number 4 is the one with a challenging name for me. It's called the Kindli Brunnen. And it's a statue in Bern in Switzerland. And what it is essentially a fountain, the name of which translates as the Fountain of the Eater of Children. Because at the top of this fountain sits an enormous ogre eating a naked baby with another sack full of delicious babies slung over his shoulder. And the thing about this statue is that nobody knows why it's there. They have no idea why it's been put up in the first place. Some people kind of assume that it's a depiction of Krampus, which is a creature from folklore that punished bad children during the Christmas season. Some people think it's actually libelous against Jewish people because its little hat kind of resembles a Jewish hat. Others believe it symbolizes the ogre of war taking away the children of Switzerland, which is why Switzerland is neutral in all international conflicts. Whatever it is, it's absolutely terrifying. And is again, bright colored statue right in the heart of town that's been freaking out kids for roughly 500 years now. All right, so now I also thought when I started compiling this list that it's not fair of me to make fun of other countries' monuments if we weren't prepared to take the piss a little bit out of our own monuments. So I started doing some research as to what is the weirdest monument in South Africa. And congratulations, South Africa, because our weird monument deserves to be at number 3. It's the Koeksister Monument in Oranje in South Africa. It's a 2-meter high statue of that syrupy treat, I suppose, that we call the Koeksister. It's basically just a large orange Koeksister. And it's there essentially to memorialize a woman by the name of Lida Strydom, who said that she would rather... Oh, sorry, no, not Lida Strydom. It's there to memorialize Susanna Smith, who once said that she would rather walk kaal foot across the Drakensberg than be ruled by the British. So obviously Oranje thought this is a woman deserving of some sort of monument, and then they thought to themselves, how do we honor this woman? And what they came up with was a giant Koeksister. I've actually found out that this Koeksister monument has won the worst tourist attraction award in the Getaway magazine every year since it was put up in 2003. So, congratulations, Oranje. Now you've got something actually worse than the concept of your town. At number 2 is a place in Korea on Jeju Island called Loveland. Loveland is... Now, Jeju Island is often used as a romantic destination for honeymooners. It's a place where you go, you take your loved one, and you propose to them. I suppose, in a way, it's a little bit like Valentine's Day made into a place. But the worst part about Jeju Island, the worst part about this whole thing, is a little section called Loveland, in which there are hundreds of statues of people making love or displaying affection towards one another. These are exceptionally graphic. From giant vaginas and penises to every kind of sexual possession and kinkiness is found made into statue by the wonderfully expressive and strange people of Jeju Island in Korea. So how's that topped? How's that one topped? By an absolute classic. This one is it's called the Burnside Fountain, otherwise known in Massachusetts, USA as Turtle Boy. And now this is a statue which was erected by a guy by the name of Charles Harvey in Worcester, Massachusetts, and it's become far more famous than its original intention ever would have signaled that it was likely to become, because it was initially erected to honor a prominent lawyer in 1905. And what it was supposed to be was of a boy riding a sea turtle, which, as a concept goes, I'm not sure how that kind of honors a lawyer. Who might have questioned? It's a weird idea. Unfortunately, that weird idea didn't exactly come out as planned either. And now it looks like a man who's, let's say, he's riding the turtle, but not in the way that they intended. That's right, it looks like this man is making wild love to a giant sea turtle. And not only has this statue been there for 100 years, since 1905, this statue has been there in Massachusetts. It's actually celebrated. The people from the area love it. They absolutely adore this statue. It's been referenced in stories and songs. There's a music contest there annually named after it, and there's also a microbrewery there that's named its beers after the Turtle Boy. So do yourself a favor if you want to see a rather weird piece of art. Look up Turtle Boy. It's the Burnside Fountain in Massachusetts. It's our number 1. So, the top 10 weird monuments of the world. At number 10, we've got the Booming Prairie Chicken in Minnesota, USA. A giant, colorful chicken. The Rocky Balboa Monument in Serbia, to a movie character. The giant traffic light in London. The Floralis Generica in Argentina, which is that giant, shiny disco ball. The fallen corn, hundreds of 3-meter tall bits of concrete corn. At number 5, children peeing in Belgium and Brussels. At number 4 is a giant ogre eating children, known as the Kindlifresserbrunnen. At number 3, our very own Cook-Sister Monument in Oranje. At number 2, Loveland in Korea. And at number 1, the Burnside Fountain, otherwise known as Turtle Boy. If you think that there's something weird that I've missed out, is there an odd monument, an odd statue, something that's in a public place that you think's perhaps even weirder than that? Let me know. Maybe perhaps that Mandela statue may have won over if they'd left a little rabbit in his ear. That was rather a strange concept. But yeah.